All right, I'm back from my hiatus. These are some training clips since the last video. Started off with this 585 squat PR. This was on Friday. Super happy with this. Even if it's in a belt and sleeves, still a huge milestone. Really happy. Here's another one. This is no belt with sleeves front squat, 440 PR. Pretty ugly, but got it anyway. None of this is in order. It's just, clips that I like, and it's been so long since the last video that this isn't even all the, sessions I've hit. It's just the ones that I bothered to post. Here's 520 for a double belt and no sleeves squat. Got a card talk at the end of the video, kind of going over what I'm doing with training right now. Got a little bit of tendonitis in my knee, so just trying to combat that. Can't really do the Olympic lifts right now. I'm just doing the power lifts. This is 300 for 2 sets of 4. Brought my bench grip in a little bit for, just general wide grip benching. Tomorrow will be another volume day on bench, so I'm going to try for at least 2 sets of 5 with 300, maybe a third. And then here's a rep out with 225 I did after my 2 sets of 4. Got 17 reps. Not very good, but, for being as smoked as I was, I'll take it. It was just for fun at the end to, get a little chest pump. Definitely not going to take this long between videos again. It was just a lot of procrastinating throughout the week. And not getting a chance to really film a car talk. This is Monday. So here's 510 pause, belt and no sleeves, pretty legit pause. And then afterwards I did 2 sets of 5 with 470, no pause. Talk about this in the car talk, but I'm gonna be doing most of my squatting without sleeves from here on out to kind of combat the tendonitis. The sleeves seem to make it worse, especially the front squat. Back squat, it's tolerable. I didn't really get any pain in the knees after the 585, so we'll definitely be willing to use the sleeves a bit more for the back squats, but definitely not the front squats. It's just really bugging me. This was a really good session. I don't think I've ever done multiple sets of 5 at 470. I think my best with 470 is 4x4, which is, of course, more overall volume, but that was also with sleeves. So, and there was no heavy set before that. So that pause definitely, the pause 510 definitely takes a lot out of you. So happy with what I could get here. I definitely want to push to kind of, I want 600 in the near future. 585 wasn't a crazy grind, so I know that that's, a realistic goal, but I want to mostly build up through not using the sleeves. I just, again, for one, it's the tendons, and for the other, it's, the squat's a little bit more legit without the sleeves. Squat deeper, and it's more raw. Here's some bench from yesterday, 5 singles with 335 paused, 5 paused singles. This is more of my intensity day on bench. You can see that these first couple sets, it moved pretty well. And then I think this is the third one right here. After this is where it starts getting hard. Like you can see the punch off the chest is super strong, but the lockout's a grind. And sets 4 and 5 were just crazy grinds. But pause was legit the whole time. It was like a 10-second rep. I can't believe I got another one after this. Definitely took a longer break in between sets 4 and 5 than for the other sets. So This is an example of an intensity day. Next time it won't be the exact same. It might be doubles, might be more singles, might be less singles. It's just something that I'm trying out. Then afterwards, just a little close grip work. Nothing crazy. 280 for 5. Not even very good for me, but again, I'm freaking smoked from the singles. And just a way to get some more blood to the chest and triceps. A little extra volume. It's not gonna hurt, especially with the closer grip, limiting yourself quite a bit. And then, accumulating some volume under fatigue, try to help with the bench, because bench has been the hardest lift for me to move throughout the last several months. Not seeing the progress I'd like, so kind of trying to double down and combine a little bit of volume and intensity, because I've tried just intensity, I've tried just volume, and neither has been effective on its own. And then here's today. This is post last night's car talk, so this session hadn't been done before the car talk. So this is belt and no sleeves front squats, 430. Probably could get a little bit more, but called it there. I tried 415 for 2, only got 1. And then this was the session finisher, 350 for 8. Pretty much just did the set a couple minutes ago before I started recording. So I'm still pumped from this in the quads, in the mid and lower back. My hands and biceps are pumped from holding the bar there. My fingers were hurting at the end. And if you ever do like high rep front squats, you know how it is if you're doing front rack, when the front rack starts to fail at the end, but your legs can keep going, so you're just fighting for your life. That's about it. Be back on Saturday. All right, long time no car talk. I was a lazy asshole last week. I did not take the time to edit some training footage or make any car talks. So I don't think I've put out a video in over a week. But back now. That's what's important. Where to start? I guess first thing is, one thing I've been talking a lot about in the car talks in the past is, squats. And there's been a lot of, I had a hat on all day, so it is not a good hair day. So I apologize if this video reaches a point where you will see my hair. Anyway, I've been talking a lot in the past couple car talks about squats and how just kind of troubleshooting the squat. I wasn't wearing sleeves for a long time. Then I brought the sleeves back. I was barefoot. I brought the shoes back, and just the issues I've had, in various forms of squatting. And last week when I was diving back, or I guess 2 weeks ago into last week when I was diving back into the Olympic lifts, I decided to sleeve up for some front squats because I was like, loading the interior a lot. The sleeves might help with a little extra protection, keep the knees nice and warm. And 2 videos prior, I said, hey, I don't think I'm going to wear the sleeves for a while. Not never, but they'll come back. But I think that they give my knees problems. Well, like fucking clockwork, I get some joint, tendon, I don't know what's going on, pain in my right knee. Specifically from, it's worst after front squats in knee sleeves. Because I also threw on some knee sleeves for back squats for the first time in a while last week. And I'll be at the front of the training the training clips I post, 585. There was no knee pain after that. So it's the freaking knee sleeve and front squat combination I'm figuring out. It's just not wearing well on my knees. Specifically the right knee.
So yesterday I didn't wear any sleeves. I did back squats, and I did a pause with like 510 or something like that, and then I did 470 for 2 sets of 5, just normal high bar, no pause, and didn't get any knee pain. Knees felt fine the entire session, so that's kind of what's proven my thesis here, is that it's a front squat. It's the front squats mixed with the knee sleeves. So tomorrow, I will attempt to front squat without the knee sleeves. I can't even tell you the last time I front squatted without the knee sleeves. It's been very, very long. So I'm going to give it a shot. We'll see how it goes. Jeez. The lane freaking warnings in this car are terrible, man. They'll warn me about something 2 lanes over. Anyway, I'm gonna front squat without the knee sleeves tomorrow and see how that feels. Normally for me, the pain isn't like during the squat session; it's after. So I'm not too sure that I'll get any warning signs or anything. I'm just hoping that no sleeves. There'll be a little bit less weight. I can squat a little bit deeper. Which, like I've said in the past, I do think that the deep squat, while you think, I'm pushing the knee out over the toe more, and it's putting more stress on the knee, you're also getting your hips involved a bit more by having to squat so deep. That's kind of been my theory with that, and, I, for the most part, think it's true. So I'll see. I will see how that goes. If not, I'll just have to bag front squats for a while, and that's a real bummer because they're just a very fantastic exercise. Definitely been one of my favorites since I added them to the repertoire late in 2022. I think that front squats even benefit overhead pressing. Like, I noticed that when I was doing a lot of front squatting a month or 2 ago, my overhead press was going up as well, and I wasn't really doing that much overhead press. Like, I was just overhead pressing like once a week, and my overhead press was going up. My ability to stay upright and not lean back so much, I directly attribute to the front squat. This is kind of that same position. The front rack isn't all that different from the way you're going to start a strict overhead press. It's the exact same way you'll start a push press. And it just strengthens, the back and the abdominal muscles so much that it has, I think, carryover to overhead pressing. Ability to keep the torso nice and rigid. So that's squats. And I'm not squatting every day anymore. I would like to get back into it at some point, but just with the tendon pain, whether this is a tendonitis issue, or I think that's what it is. I don't want to, stress it too much. I'm saying, it feels a bit better without the sleeves, but at the same time, it's also good to cut back on the frequency as well, because that high frequency, it's going to stress it even more. Anyway, presses. And I also had to pump the brakes on the Olympic lifts too, for obvious reasons. Again, you got to catch in a deep squat, and that was definitely not helping with the knee. So just alternating squat and press days at the moment, sprinkling in deadlifts when I feel like it. So as far as pressing goes, bench is definitely more so the priority still. Bench has basically been my priority all year to this point. So I think, the first thing worth mentioning that I did is I brought the grip in. So I'm not doing a real wide grip anymore. Reverse grip was bugging my left elbow, so I can't really do that at the moment. because it just felt so shitty to unrack right here. So I brought my grip in with the normal bench. So instead of, I had like my pinky on the ring. Now I'm not even close to have my pinky on the ring. I'm about a thumb away from the smooth. Excuse me. Which fucking powerlifters will still tell you is close grip, but it's not. It's like moderate. It's a shoulder width grip. And it's been feeling good. I'm about 2 sessions in with it. Happy. And then I'm also doing close grip, when I feel like it. I can do the whole session with one. Like the other day, I think I did 2 sets of 4 with 300. And then today, I did 5 singles at 335 paused. 5 singles at 335 paused with that normal, shoulder width grip. And then I brought it into close grip and I did 280 for 5 and 260 for 7, which isn't very, very good with the close grip. Like, I'm definitely capable of better than that, but I was just so smoked after those 5 singles. Like, those will be in the training clips, and you'll see how, like, the first single, it was difficult, but it moved. And then by the 5th, it's like fucking grind. So that definitely took a lot out of me. And it's all good. Do that in the fatigue state. I'm not really, it's not because, I'm not doing the close grip for sake of, Jesus Christ, fucking truck. I'm not doing close grip for sake of pushing close grip bench. I'm doing close grip as like an accessory for, the normal bench. So it's just good to get a little extra volume in, stress the triceps out a bit more. It's deeper range of motion. There's a lot of good things about close grip. I just, if I'm going to be pushing big bench numbers, right now it's not a volume phase. I'm doing, a lot of intensity work as well. I'm going to use a grip where I can move a bit more weight. And kind of the plan is I'm going to kind of alternate, volume days and intensity days with that normal grip bench, right? So I said on today's Tuesday. Today's Tuesday. So on Sunday, I did 2 sets of 4 with 300. I don't remember if I did anything else after that. Oh my God. Oh, I did a rep out with 225. That's what I did after. I forgot I did that. I did 225 for 17. Not very good. I should have been able to get more than that. But it was the, fatigue state. Should be able to get, at least 20. But whatever. Anyway. So that's what I'm kind of doing. So I'm kind of alternating between, volume day and intensity day. So Sunday's 2 sets of 4 with 300. That's a pretty good amount of volume. And then, there was the rep out. I just do that for fun. And then today was the 5 singles. So that's more intensity. So on the next day at bench, I guess will be Thursday. I'm going to go for, I want at least 2 sets of 5 with 300. I think that's possible. Sets of 4 with 300 were pretty difficult. Not going to lie. But I think I can get 2 sets of 5. At least 2 sets of 5. If I'm feeling good, I'm going for 3 sets of 5. 3 sets of 5 with 300, I'd be really, really happy with that. But I'll take 2 sets of 5. And then, next time again, I'm going to do some singles or doubles. So it's kind of what's going to, 5s or 4s, singles and doubles. Maybe even fucking 6s if I'm feeling up for it. Anywhere from the 4 to 6 rep range. And then the next bench day, 1, 2, or maybe even triples. And, I'll throw in some heavy attempts with that. But the thing is that I've been kind of figuring out with the bench over the last couple of months is, I've been doing a lot of heavy work, pause PRs, pause 2 rep maxes, 3 rep maxes, but like the fucking just singles aren't fucking moving. And the progress is just so slow. And you chip away at it, like, oh, nice, pause 2 rep max, and then the next time you think you're going to hit a new pause 1 RM, not always. So, I got to accumulate some more volume with bench, and I got to do it with the wider grip to get really used to it. Because you can just, accumulate that volume with the close grip and then move to the wide grip, and you'll get a bit of, you'll gain a bit of strength, but you really got to accumulate the volume with, you got to break in the wider grip too. You got to break it in. You can't just, do it whenever you feel like it and expect to just go up. Now the other thing I wanted to mention is, again, like pretty much all year my overhead press frequency has been down just because I'm happy with where my overhead press is. Like, I'm not going to say I'd be happy, like, not forever. I don't want a 275 over OHP forever. Like, that's a good number. Most people never fucking hit that, mostly out of a lack of trying. But I'm happy with where it's at right now. Like, I won't lie. Like, if I didn't get to 280 or 285 by the end of the year, like, as in, like, 9 months from now, the end of the year, or whatever, 8 months from now, the end of the year, whatever the fuck, like, yeah, I'd be kind of upset. I'm not gonna lie, because I hit my last PR in, like, January or February. But, like, to be honest, if I did like 280 by the end of the year, okay, I honestly be fucking cool with 280 or 285. Like, I don't need to put a ton of pounds on my overhead press, in the near future. I'm happy with where it's at. Bench, on the other hand, has been fucking trash my entire lifting career, and I gotta put some pounds on the bench. That's the priority, and I need a 405 bench by the end of the year. That's gonna be hard. Not even too sure that's possible. I got like eight months and some change now, so I don't know that I can put, I don't even know where I'm at, like 50 more pounds on the bench. I don't know about that, but try, give it my best shot. At least got to be in the high threes, at least. So I probably will try to maintain overhead pressing at least once a week. So I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do on Thursday. One of those days where it's a more volume day on the bench when I'm doing like fours or fives. I'll overhead press first, and what I like to do is I like to just pick up bench wherever overhead press leaves off. So if I do some overhead press, and let's say I do, I think my 5 rep max is like 230 for 5. So let's say, I go and I do that. I do 230 for 5. I'll just start benching 230. Like, I'll just literally, I got to take the weights off the bar because I got to move the bar from the outside of the rack to the inside. But I'll just put the plates back on and I'll just start at 230. Oh, you're nice and warm. Overhead press is harder than a bench. So if you're warm enough to overhead press 230, you should be warm enough to bench it. So that's what I like to do. So that's just something that I might do on the bench volume days. Just a little trick of the trade. So, that's where I'm at right now. I gotta get a good deadlift day in. I tried to deadlift on Sunday, but my knee was beat to shit from, I think I front squatted on Saturday. Yeah, I front squatted on Saturday. My knee just was fucking aching on Sunday, and I just, it was definitely, it didn't hurt my knee to deadlift, but it was certainly, I was feeling some fatigue in the knee, and that wasn't helping my deadlift. So I got to get a good deadlift session in. I've been kind of procrastinating that lift all year because it's just not, I don't enjoy deadlifts as much as I enjoy squatting and benching. And I've just overall, deadlifting over the past, since I hit 625 in December 2023, I've been happier with the deadlift than any other lift, so the motivation hasn't exactly been there. But now that I got a 6-plate squat, 6-plate high bar squat, as a matter of fact, I got to get the terrible hair day. I got to get the deadlift up too, so definitely got to get to working on that. I should probably be doing it more than like once every 2 weeks, but Can't do it in the morning, man. I lift in the morning, and it's not a good idea to be making that much noise in the morning when you have a home gym. So that's about that.